Barakim Habarim, welcome to Messianic Moment Ministry. I'm Stephen Bruck. You know who you are. Today's the 13th day of March 2025. Oh my gosh, Friday the 13th falls on a Thursday. That's got to be bad. Anyway, I have way too often heard Christians tell me that Jesus did away with the law. To be honest, I doubt if any of them really understand the implication of what they're saying. All right, before we get into it, let's do some admin stuff. Get it out of the way. First of all, please share these messages with everyone you know. It's the most important thing, most likely. But if you like what you're getting here, you're going to love the books I've written. I got 5 of them. Get them through the website. The link's there. Or just go to Amazon.com. Put Stephen R. Bruck in the title, in the search place, and they'll all show up. Also, I would really love it if you'd like my Facebook page and join my Facebook group called Just God's Word. And don't forget also, don't just subscribe on the website, but subscribe back on MessianicMoment.com as well. They're different lists. And sometimes I don't do a video, so you might want to double check it. All right, so let's get into today's stuff. Most Christians, if you ask them what the law is that Jesus did away with, well, they'll say, well, that's the Torah. So then you ask them, what laws are in the Torah? And you'll most likely get a blank stare for a second. Then maybe they'll say, oh, well, the kosher laws. Okay, what else? Right. Most Christians I have talked to who go along with the ridiculous idea that Jesus did away with the law have no freaking idea what they are saying. They're just parroting what they've been told. I'm sorry, what is parroting? Good question. Glad you asked. Consider a parrot. It can be taught to repeat words and phrases, and if properly cued, it sounds as if the bird knows what it's saying, but it actually has no understanding of the meaning. So let's examine what it would mean if Jesus did away with the law, which would be the entire Torah. And yes, it would have to be the entire Torah, not just the law here or there, this commandment, but not that one. So let's start right at Exodus 20, when God gave Moses the Big Ten. If Jesus did away with the law, then God isn't the only God, and we can worship whomever or whatever we please in whichever order we want to. Hey, we don't have to celebrate the Sabbath day, and Christianity's already done that basically by changing it to Sunday. We can curse out our parents, we can covet, we can commit adultery, we can... Well, you get the point, right? And what about the many other laws in the Torah? There are laws regarding health care. There are laws regarding interpersonal relationships, especially the sexual ones. There's a penal code for different types of crimes, and that's just to name a few of the laws that are in the Torah. So no, none of that matters or is important now, right? I mean, after all, Jesus did away with the law. Well, what about Yeshua's bro, Jimmy? In his letter, he specifically said, and this is in James 2:10, that for a person who keeps the whole Torah, yet stumbles at one point, well, they become guilty of breaking all the laws. So the excuse that I've heard from many Christians, which is that, well, oh no, only the ceremonial laws are done away with, but the moral laws are still effective, well, that clearly goes against the Bible, because hey, Jimmy says you break one, you break them all. And, for that matter, who says which laws are moral and which aren't? I'll give you my answer to that question. And, of course, being Jewish, I'll ask a question to answer a question. Do you believe that God is a moral being? If you say yes, and you better say yes, then whatever he says must be moral, right? Well, the Torah is composed of God saying how he wants us to worship him, and how he wants us to treat each other. Therefore, since everything God says is moral, everything in the Torah is moral, even if some want to define parts of it as merely ceremonial. It boils down to this, people. If Yeshua did away with the law, well, it would be tantamount to rejecting his father's authority and rulership, which would be rebellion, right? Well, the only being we know who always has been in rebellion against God is Satan. I don't know about you, but I do not believe that Yeshua is Satan. In fact, as I recall, we're told that Satan offered the whole world to Yeshua, and he not only rejected it, but told Satan to go bugger off. I often say, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but really, I'm not. Bursting bubbles is one of the things this ministry is devoted to doing. Jesus never did away with the law, never did away with any part of it, and lived 100% of his life in 100% obedience to the law. The only way to follow in Yeshua's footsteps, which of course is what good Christians are supposed to do, is to be as Torah observant as you can. And that means the entire Torah. Celebrate as commanded in Leviticus 23. Eat only what is allowed in Leviticus 11. And make sure you don't do any of those sexually banned activities in Leviticus 18. And that's not all, but it's a good start. In fact, obeying the Torah a bit at a time as you convert to a Torah observant lifestyle, well, that's exactly what Shaul, it's Paul, was teaching the mostly Gentile congregations he formed. Sadly, when the Jewish leadership of this new sect of Judaism died off, the Gentile leadership redirected it into the man-made religion we have today, which, as this message is all about, rejects God's Torah. Consider this. John said Yeshua, right, was a living Torah. And Yeshua said rejecting him is rejecting the one who sent him. So if we reject the Torah, we are rejecting Yeshua, and that means we are rejecting God. There goes your bubble. Well, thank you for being here. Please remember to share these messages with everyone you know, even non-believers. After all, you never know how fertile the soil is until you plant the seed in it. Okay, well, that's it for this week. So, Lihitrot, and in early Shabbat Shalom.